let's go inside and I'll talk to you a little bit more about how I'm cooking for our family of 7 this time around in the RV.
Okay.
Okay, we just got back from our morning at the state park, which was very nice.
Today we're at the Blue Creek or Blue something state park.
Spring?
Blue Spring, that's probably what it is. It's just north of Orlando a little bit. Gonna wander around and see what we can see. Look at this. These trees are cool.
That's amazing. So beautiful.
Whoa. Manatees swim here as well, apparently. Megan's excited. There's a house here in this
I
park.
don't ask for much.
Let's check it out.
I just want this, okay?
That's it?
Just a 3-story old farmhouse.
Beautiful. That's very cute. It's open. You can go inside of it. Thursby House.
Great Spring by Steamboat. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Can't go upstairs. That was fun. Cute. Okay, they're working on the shore here. There's a little manatee down there. Oh, did he go into the other way? Okay, they said he's over here. Oh, there he is. Okay, look. There's the manatee. Look at him moving. There's the manatee. Down there forever, so it dried up.
Edie, come here. Come see the manatee. They're really nice. Right here. The dark spot.
All right, this is the beginning of the river right here.
This is where the
The
springs
water
come out.
comes out. You can see the big crack there. That's where the water comes out. A lot of fish hanging out there.
Big gar.
And the manatee left, so he got tired of it. It's pretty though.
And I'm going to be making dinner, and I thought since most of you are ladies, there are a few gentlemen, but mostly ladies on Knorpp and South, I thought I would talk to you and show you a little bit how I'm cooking in the RV. The first time around when we lived in an RV back in 2016, I definitely went to mostly like really quick meals that were carb heavy, you know, a lot of things made in the Instant Pot, like or microwave from like those great Costco meals, which I love those, and I still get those. Those are really great for travel days because we show up and it's a quick and easy meal. I definitely don't want to be eating out a lot. I just don't think that most restaurant food is actually very good, and I'm always disappointed, and yet I've spent $100. I wanted this time to very intentionally keep cooking and trying to cook as much as I can, using the skills that I've learned, because I really did lose skills last time in that couple of years of travel. I like forgot how to cook, and I didn't want to do that again. And also cooking has become like a meditative process for me. It's a time for me to like kind of ground myself, and it's quiet and I really love it. So I'm trying to do that. And literally the first year that we traveled in our RV, I never once used the oven, and I'm using the oven a few times every week in this RV, and the burners and all of that. So let's go inside and I'll talk to you a little bit more about how I'm cooking for our family of 7 this time around in the RV. This is our little outdoor space. It's super nice to have this up because not only does it create shade for us in the morning, but also just creates a feeling of like a little bit more privacy and like we have an outdoor room here. And since the weather is still good, that's awesome. So we're eating all of our meals out here, and sometimes I'm cooking out here at this table. It actually can raise to counter height. It just depends on how hot it is and how much I just want to make it outside. I think today I will cook inside though. This is what we're working with. This is a lifesaver for me to keep my produce out. We are hand washing everything. We don't have a disher in our RV. This is a new addition this time around. We've had this RV for 5 years now, but we never traveled in it full time or lived in it. You know, it was just for vacation. But we went and got this bar from IKEA, and this has just been made the cooking process very enjoyable for me because before these drawers were just packed. And pulling these up here and having this shelf here with all the stuff I'm using really often has been great. I'll show you my pantry. This one is like my basic goods. It's actually not food mostly. It's mostly paper towels. We get them at Costco, which is ridiculous to buy things in bulk like that, but they're just, I don't know why this is open. Pull that. They're just so much better than anywhere else that we just did it. And so it actually isn't that usually that full, but this is like the food for the kids, bread, chips, you know, stuff that everyday things that they can access. And then this is like my cooking, baking cabinet with, you know, canned goods and baking supplies. And that covers us mostly. We did move the cereal over to here. You can see that the cabinet space is actually pretty adequate. This goes really far back. I hate having to get those things that are out because I have to pull everything out to get to them. The thing I really wish this RV had, which it doesn't, is a residential fridge, because this is difficult for us. This size of fridge is very difficult for a family of 7. So there's lots of rearranging going on all the time in this fridge. And also the kids aren't huge fans of sandwiches. They like leftovers, but it's really hard to store leftovers in a fridge this size. You can see it's like the depth of, it's not very deep. And this is our burners. We have 3 gas burners, and they're actually pretty powerful. They are using propane tanks, but it's been lasting. It hasn't run out really quickly or anything. And then this is our oven. I store things in here when we're not using it. The hardest part of our oven is that it is literally like, what is that, 4 or 5 inches? So the heat has been fine because I put a pizza stone in it. The thing that's lame is that the burners are right here. I don't know why they didn't put them on the bottom. I guess because you can kind of use it like a broiler, but I put this temperature gauge in here, and then I put this big pizza stone, and that helps distribute the heat because RVs so often, their ovens are notorious for like hot spots and burning your food, but I haven't had any problem with that. And so I just pull everything out, and I only have this space, so I couldn't like make like a loaf of bread in here or anything like that. But I have made bread in here, like cornbread. I think I made some biscuits in here, and it's worked great. Mostly roasting things in here and things along those lines, but obviously I don't have the ability to really make a lot of like roast vegetables for the family. It's just not big enough. The perfect size for this to fill it would be like a jelly roll pan. I had one on order, and then we left it at the last RV park. So that is my oven. It's nice to use electric appliances when you're in an RV because you're not paying for electric. You just plug in to the RV park. You're paying for your propane, and so if you can cook things electrically, that's really the way to go. And so what we have out here is our extra kitchen storage. This used to have like another burner in it, and I never ever used it. It's fun for like, you know, if you're like camping and tailgating and stuff, but I never used it. Also, it had a sink in it. It was just so high most of the time anyways. This is where I'm keeping my rice cooker, which I'm using almost every day, and my Instant Pot. And then I love my griddle with sides. This thing is amazing. I use this for so many different things. I can make soup in it. I can cook pasta in it. Love it. And then I have a couple flat griddles up there for stuff like pancakes and whatnot. I actually used my rice cooker the other day to cook our dream syrup that we make. I made it for Asher's birthday. It's like a caramely pancake syrup. And I was able to make it in my rice cooker just by pushing the saute then simmer. Very happy with that. We also do have an extra fridge out here, but the thing about this fridge is it doesn't stay cold while you're driving. You may not realize it, but RV fridges have the ability to run on propane and electric. So when you're driving in between your spots, the fridge is still running, it's just running on propane. And then when you plug in, it'll switch to electric, which is amazing. And so I can't do that here though. So I can only use this for extra storage when we're stopped at a place for any amount of time, because then the fridge has got to get cold again and then I can put things in there. But I can leave everything in the RV fridge and freezer while we're driving. So that's awesome. Okay, after all of that about not wanting to lose any of my skills, I am making a very simple meal tonight. I didn't like plan this so I would show you like the most impressive thing. You know, I've made some really impressive things. No, I'm just kidding. But my meals have gotten simpler, even if I'm still trying to spend time cooking with like real ingredients and stuff. We're having a lot of like meat with rice and some other side. A lot of, like Buddha bowl type thing where we have a few different things we're tossing on top of rice. We're having a lot of tacos. Tonight I'm doing something with chicken and carrots because I had some leftover balsamic. And I've seen people do this before where they cook in the balsamic, and I'm gonna do that in here. You don't wanna do it with a creamy one, but this is not a creamy one. I'm gonna put it on saute. I'm gonna brown the chicken, pull it out, and then throw the carrots in for a little bit, brown them, and then throw it all in and pressure cook it for probably like 10, 12 minutes. Then another thing we're gonna have is we're gonna have it over mashed potatoes and with some French bread. One thing I haven't seen worth it yet in my trailer is to make mashed potatoes from scratch. I don't like making mashed potatoes from scratch at home. I do it, but it just takes a lot of space for me to do that. I'll probably end up doing it, but I don't know. We're gonna just have these mashed potatoes, and then we'll, with the chicken and the carrots and the balsamic, put it over that, and then a side salad. So without further ado, I'm gonna push saute on this, start getting it ready, and then I'm gonna start cutting up our chicken. I need a bowl. You can still hear me even though I'm inside getting a bowl or two. How exciting is that? This is Mike's office. He's editing a video for our YouTube channel. If you haven't heard of it, it's called Knorpp and South. Gonna cut up my chicken. Almost exclusively does the Knorpp family eat, if we're gonna have chicken, we're having chicken thighs. It really doesn't make sense to me to eat anything else when chicken thighs are so delicious. Now, you don't have to brown your meat. You could just throw it in like this. You could even throw it in frozen, and I used to do a lot of that, but your flavor becomes a lot more complex and a lot tastier if you brown your meat. And so I've got the time and I've got the will, so I'm gonna do it. If you don't have an Instant Pot yet, maybe you don't need one because you haven't got one yet. That's, proven that. But what I haven't gotten yet is the air fryer, and that is something I'm thinking about. The problem with the air fryer is I couldn't find one that had enough space to make it worth it to me. If I'm gonna get one, I would like it to be really large, and I've looked around. I haven't found one yet, except I found one, like some Emerald Lagasse one or something, and people said that it didn't work for very long or something. So if you know of a really, really large air fryer, that would be a way for me to use electric power and even have it outside so that the heat is not, right now it's been pretty temperate, but it's only April. As it gets warmer, it will just feel unbearable to have something cooking inside. But I mean, not really, it's a small space. You crank the AC, but if somebody knows of a really great air fryer, I'm open. Let me know in the comments. Also, do you use your air fryer? Because it would also take up cargo space, so I need to make sure it's something that I would actually be using. With this recipe, this isn't a recipe, I'm making it up. But if I had planned it more, I would probably try to you could have some onions, but I used up my last onion. You could do those as well as the carrots. I just have carrots. I've been wanting to eat carrots. Roasted carrots are my favorite thing in the world. Not really, but I think they're delicious. But roasting vegetables in the RV is, for a family of our size, it doesn't make sense. I will roast some sweet potatoes for myself because I eat sweet potatoes with eggs just about every morning for breakfast. But it really, I'm able to fit like 1 cubed sweet potato in that oven. So obviously not enough for all 7 of us. Okay, I do this in batches because if I don't, it's just it makes sure you're more like steaming your chicken rather than browning it, because there's just too much moisture with all that chicken in there. So just doing some cracked pepper, some sea salt, just for a little extra flavor. Let's put this in. I was saying earlier that cooking has become a really enjoyable experience for me. I used to see it, like so many others, as a chore and something like, oh my gosh, I have to think of another dinner. But since I've changed my mindset on a few things, one, that it can be really joyful if I'm doing it with love for the people I'm cooking for. That really fills me up. Whenever you're doing something for someone else, but like joyfully, it actually is, you know, it's kind of counterintuitive, but it actually makes you feel really good. And it's very filling rather than draining. But also seeing it as a creative outlet, something I've been trying to master instead of just complete. Now, obviously, I don't have little ones. My youngest is 11. I don't have somebody underfoot where I'm just trying to get things done like I used to be. But if you treat cooking in like more like a skill set that you need to learn, an art form, then it becomes a creative outlet. It becomes a lot more enjoyable. At least it has for me. So I don't know, if you really hate it, maybe try getting better at it. I know that sounds kind of rude, but just try like actually reading and studying like you wouldn't expect to like love painting or anything that you haven't really learned how to do well. And so it's when you know how to do something well, it's not enjoyable at first because it's very stressful because you don't know what you're doing. But once you do know what you're doing, then it's very enjoyable because you can kind of create things and expect the outcome that you get. And then it's delicious. And delicious food is pretty much the key to everyone's heart. I've joked before that if you want to learn how to make love potions, learn how to make delicious food, because it's like almost impossible not to kind of love someone who makes you delicious food. It's just so linked in our brain. It's like to attachment that it's like a love potion. And it's what's cool about it is everybody that eats the good food together kind of loves each other, so it's really good for a family. It's kind of magical that way. Moms can have that power for their kids. If you want your kids to feel close and to love you, you can, one of the ways you can make your family feel closer is to make delicious food. Okay, I gotta go get some tongs for this chicken. Evie, will you open the door for me? I have raw chicken hands.
Yeah, I do.
Thank you. So one thing about cooking outside.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Another thing I've learned about browning is that I was never doing it long enough before. I watched like a Joanna Gaines cooking episode and she's amazing. But she was browning a roast and she like got it really browned. And I was like, oh dude, I'm like just barely. So I have to work hard because I'm impatient to let things brown. So it's just like I put them in there and then I don't touch them. So they get nice and caramelized. I'll show you in just a minute. And then you also, the more you do that, the more you get these amazing little browned bits at the bottom that you can deglaze the pan later on and soak up. Now I'm gonna do some carrots. Maybe I should do more carrots in this, huh? Now you wouldn't normally want to cut vegetables on a chicken cutting board, but since they're gonna get cooked with the chicken, it doesn't matter. I'm kind of rushing this last batch, but you can see all of that browned deliciousness at the bottom, and there's so much flavor in that because the flavor, I guess, comes from, in part, when the meat hits the high temperature. That's why browning your meat kind of like sears in a lot of flavor, right? But also the little bits that are on the bottom have a ton of flavor locked up in them, and so you want to get those. And so that's something you call deglazing the pan. Any acidic liquid can do that for you. So a lot of people are using wine. The chicken stock is acidic enough to do it. Any sort of tomato-based liquid. I'll let that cook. Now I'm going to throw these carrots in here just to bring them to temperature and kind of sear them as well. And then I will deglaze the bottom. I have a mixture of the rest of that balsamic vinaigrette. Wasn't quite a cup. You need about a cup for cooking this in the Instant Pot. So I added a little bit of white wine to get it up to that, and also that'll just make the flavor even better. Let those sear for a minute. Just checking on those. We've got a little bit of some caramelization. I'm going to let them go just a little bit longer, because that's going to make them really delicious. I don't know. This is not a recipe. So I'm kind of going with my gut on this, that this cooking liquid and these ingredients, very simple, but will probably be very delicious over the mashed potatoes. Let's see how we did. Yeah, those got some good color on them, some caramelization. Look at that bottom. Now we're going to deglaze that thing. It smells delicious though. So you want like a flat spoon like this, wooden spoon. You don't want to, and you don't want to do this in a non-stick pan or in cast iron. You really want it to be a non-reactive pot that you aren't going to damage. So stainless steel is ideal, or what is it called? Enameled cast iron. While it's simmering, you're just kind of pushing off all of that yummy goodness on the bottom. Yummy goodness on the bottom. Now, I am just making this up. My main concern, is that it won't taste good. But my second main concern is that, I'm not too concerned that it won't taste good, but that the Instant Pot gets so hot. I don't know if this liquid will be able to handle that and not burn on the bottom. So, okay, now we've got all of that off, as you can see. It's nice and shiny and cleanish on the bottom. And we're gonna throw the chicken in with its juices. Mix that all together. It's kind of like an Italian stewish thing. You could simmer this for 10 minutes on the stovetop and have it be done just about, but so it doesn't really need a ton of time in the Instant Pot. What it'll do is it'll really break it down, get it really tender, and then be more like a chunky, stewish consistency that we'll put over the potatoes. That's my hope, at least. That's what we're going for, folks. This might be more of a cooking and RV fail if it doesn't work. Instant Pots are very convenient, but the worst part of them, I think, is when you have to release the pressure and you get like that liquidy stuff everywhere. You can let it release naturally, but I'm going to pressure cook this for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to let it naturally release. So let's hope it doesn't sear on the bottom, because it will like say, no, you can't do it. Okay, I'll let you see how that goes. Okay, I was gonna do a natural pressure release, but I'd waited 10 minutes, it was too long. And this is what I never finished that thought, but this is kind of annoying when you let this go in your kitchen and it sprays everywhere. It's nice to be able to do it outside. I will often actually, and the RV is so small, and the ceilings are so low that I feel like it's especially bad in there. So I will actually, even when I'm cooking inside, walk it outside and release the pressure first. Okay, moment of truth to see. Looks pretty good. I definitely use some cornstarch to thicken up the gravy. But I ain't got none of that.
No?
Maybe
We'll
I'll
just
do a
sit
little
there.
bit of flour.
Work with it.
It's good.
Mm.
I'm gonna add in a little cream cheese. I had accidentally bought it too early before I'd like run out of.
The other cream cheese?
So I need to free up some space in her small fridge. We've all sat down to eat. We've got our instant mashed potatoes, some French bread, and another loaf with butter at the table, and then the chicken. A loaf of butter, and then the chicken to go on top. So what I was thinking is you put the mashed potatoes in, and then you put the chicken and carrots and kind of sauce it's in on top. So I guess it's very hot, and when it's hot, it's hard to tell the flavor. But what are your thoughts so far?
Really good.
Good.
Okay, I've got mine. It's really good. I waited a little bit, so mine's a little bit cooler, but it's really yummy. I'm not sure what seasoning you have in here, but it tastes really good.
Salad dressing.
Salad dressing? Wow. It's really good. Super yummy.
Yeah, big.
Mom's gotten so good at cooking that
Look at that.
it's not worth going out to eat anymore because the food is always better at home. Even in the trailer, it's better. When you think that your cooking implements would kind of hinder that. I think it's really good, and I think everyone's enjoying it. Everyone's eating it up. Hanging out here. Enjoying a nice meal outside. It's 85 degrees. Doesn't feel bad. We're in the shade, so it feels good.
All right, well, I thought that was delicious as well. Some of the things I should mention, it's really great, like I said, to cook with electric, so you're not using the RV's gas. But one of the problems in an RV is often if you put it on, there's not that many breakers, and so you will trip the breaker if you're putting more than one electrical cooking appliance on one breaker. And so what I do is I will come out here and put the rice cooker out here on a table or a chair plugged into a different outlet. And then inside I will cook with, you know, the main thing that I need to be around. So that's just another little tip. There are some other places inside the RV I could put it, but it's easier just to go put it out here by the little outdoor kitchen area. Thanks for coming along, guys. I hope you enjoyed seeing us both go out for the day and then come back and make dinner here at the RV. We're just gonna relax and hang out for the rest of the evening, and we'll see you next time. Bye.